And now, Freelance Heroism.
Hey everybody, welcome to Freelance Heroism. My name is Dees.
And I'm Rachel.
And before we even get started, we just want to say thank you to everyone out there who donates at the Patreon, in particular those who donate at the producer tier.
Yes.
Rachel, would you like to let us know who they are?
I would love to. We want to say thank you to Duncan, Nate, Breakmeister, and Rebecca. Thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah. You help us make a better show for everyone, and we couldn't do it without you.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Rachel.
Dees.
We had a conversation last week, and it went a little long, but we thought it was a good conversation and an important one that kind of focused on your player. So you decided, rather than have a 90-minute intro, we're going to chop it in half. And so that's what we're going to do now.
Yeah, so the first half of this conversation was from the intro last week. And so this is the second half of it, and it's just a continuation about character death and maybe what you can learn or do differently from that, if anything.
Yeah, and the positive aspects of a character death, which would be hard to see, but anyway, take a listen.
Yep.
But definitely not chain a second enemy into the equation, because that's just not great.
Right. But
I understand in the moment, new player, there's a panickiness to it.
Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah.
You know, that comes with experience, right?
Yeah.
And now this memory, not to be cold, but this memory and loss of character in that series of actions will maybe in the next iteration kind of illustrate why you do certain things a certain way.
Right.
Maybe it's a teachable moment.
Maybe it's a moment where your character, if her character comes back, or for future characters, she learns that maybe sometimes...
Oh, no, you're right. I know where you're going with this.
Maybe sometimes you tell your party no. Maybe you say, I already went the first time. It was dangerous. This is what I found. If you think that there's more there, then all of us together should go. And we should storm the front and face those constructs that we're so afraid of. But I think in this instance, with a lot of my spells tapped out, with only like one wild shape,
and a visible enemy that we knew was in the room from the first time.
And the first time she only explored that top floor, she didn't check for lower, so
could have been worse.
It could have been worse.
And at that point, neither of them knew the door was barred.
Right. Nobody knew that the door was welded shut.
Yeah. So I mean, their decision making there, I think, was a little skewed. I would not have gone back in. I've already checked. That was my job, and I did it.
Right.
And now, if you want to check further, then
Right. If you think I missed something, then you go check.
You can come point out what I missed. Yeah.
Right.
So I think on some level, the party should trust the findings of the person they sent into a dangerous situation.
Right.
But then on a second level, the player's got to be like, no, I already looked.
Yeah.
I mean, my stats didn't change since I went in there and looked.
Yeah.
My perception is what it is. I didn't see anything. I'm not going back into it. I mean, that's a thing that a person would do.
Yeah.
Like, imagine you have to sneak into a building filled with people with guns.
Right.
And you have to look for something, and you go into the room and you make it past all the gunmen, and you look around, and then you sneak back out without being caught. And they're like, no, it's still in there. I'm like, fuck you. No, it's not. I was in there. Yeah. So.
Right. If you think it's in there, why didn't you tell me where it was?
Right. Or we can take out these gunmen and go in and look. Right. Yeah. So I think that it's like sort of a people pleaser kind of thing. She wants to be helpful to the group, and the group is asking her for things, so she did it. But I think in the future, be like, nah, fuck that.
Right.
I already looked.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Second is you have to trust your research. When the people go in there and look for something and come back out, you got to take their word for it. Otherwise, what was the point of sending them in the first place?
Right.
If you're not going to trust their findings, why even bother?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Second, did anybody think about what might happen in the event that something went poorly? That's not great.
I mean,
you gotta prep for the worst case scenarios.
They sent her in because she was the only one who could get in through the roof. No one else had an ability, like nobody had fly or anything like
Gaseous
that.
form, anything like that?
No. And these constructs were guarding this tower, so but
they had to fight him anyway, even though they were trying to avoid him.
They did have to end up fighting them anyway, but I think there wasn't like a contingency. If you yell, we like they heard her yell and they came running, but they didn't go check on her. They stayed to fight the constructs.
Not to stack all my complaints on one side of this, because I think she probably should have pushed back before she going back in, and that's on her.
Yeah.
Right? But the party didn't have any preparedness for that engagement, right? So, like, here's my thing. Did anyone during that combat think to break off to try to find another way into the building? Maybe someone with a higher strength total that could climb the side of that building?
No.
While the other ones kept the enemies busy?
Nope.
Did anyone think maybe we could not kill them, but just blind them or something like that? Give us some time to go find our friend?
No.
They were
all very focused on fighting the constructs.
Not great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've been in situations where it's been really bad before, right?
Yeah,
remember a perfect example for anyone who listens to the podcast is that time we fought the horsemen.
Yes, I was just thinking of that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's a perfect example of a situation in which everybody's looking out for everyone else, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I'm drawing the attention away, pulling a guy away from the battle to try to separate, and then we threw you on a horse and got you out of dodge because we were like, AG's going to be able to come back and save us later if that's what we need. I mean, it was all like well thought out system of and I mean, Adri hated the idea of leaving her friends behind, but it was also like that fight was we weren't winning. If everybody had stayed, we would have all been dead. No, but like that's the situation, right? Like, and sometimes the circumstances end up in a way where you just have to break your pride if you want to survive and get out of it, right? Yeah. So things that maybe you don't want to do, you have to do, and sometimes you have to get really creative. Like, I couldn't stab the guy who was drowning me and trying to eat my face. I couldn't stab him.
Right.
But my weapons are magic. They deactivate the blade. The blade dematerializes and then rematerializes. So I just put the sheath of it against his corpse or against his torso and just activated the weapon.
Right.
And then deactivated the weapon. And then moved him and activated him again. And just we're just gonna make him do a little stabby motion.
Right.
You do what you gotta do.
Yeah. And I think
that was with half HP, by the way. So that's my little flex there.
I think also sometimes, like this is an adventure game. You're playing heroes, so often you want to have your character do the heroic thing, and maybe you think the heroic thing is I'm going to fight all these guys, and maybe you don't think the heroic thing is I got to open a door and run upstairs and find my friend. But like,
how many times have I greased your guys' asses and slung you across the ground?
Right.
To get you out of combat.
Yeah, sometimes you can't. Sometimes instead of fighting the big monster, you need to go check on your friends, or you need to go.
Put out a magic candle or a fucking
break the windows to let light into the room or something.
Right. Yeah. So like, I think a lot of times, especially new players, they get tunnel vision on what they think the game is, which is press X, swing sword. Press X, swing sword.
Right.
Right. That's not how this game works. Like, in a situation like that, you got to be creative, you got to be adaptable, and you got to be prepared. And if you're not prepared, you better think of something quick, because, I mean, look, there's no way, if Kavir's there's no way I'm not prepared for that situation. I'm always going to be at least mildly prepared,
Yeah.
But in the event that I'm not prepared, watch how creative I can be, right?
Yeah.
That's how we do it. Sometimes you catch bad luck. Sometimes you get critted in the chest and your body collapses on a staircase and there's nothing you can do. And you just have to hope your friends do a good job.
Yeah.
And also, I want to clarify that, like, going off on your own isn't a crime. Right. And it's not always inherently dangerous, but it is a moment where you need to be aware that when you're off on your own, there's some things you got to do.
Right.
All right. So now that we've kind of talked about what could have gone better and how they could have probably, and hopefully how they will prepare in the future. Right.
Yeah.
I think that there's another part of this, which is sometimes you do everything right. Sometimes you're prepared up and down. Sometimes shit just happens and there's nothing you can do. There are no ways out. True. You know, don't tell me the odds, whatever, but it's just not gonna, you're not getting out of it.
Yeah, definitely.
And in that situation, characters die.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I know that that's not necessarily the best thing to think about. Sometimes characters die. And the cool thing about D&D, I think, is that the characters that do die, it's in the player's hands how valuable to the narrative that can be. Right?
Yeah.
If a new character rolls in, fills in their old player's role and just takes over like nothing happened and nobody has any like remembrance of them or tells stories about them or anything, then it was a completely worthless moment, right?
Yeah.
But there are times where like that's important. So her new character comes in, right? And now these other people maybe don't like her as much as the old character. Right? They don't trust her like they trusted the old character.
Right.
They have to grow to trust this person. Maybe sitting around a campfire during rest, they tell a cool story. Remember that time this person did that? And they all kind of chuckle and have a fun. That can... that those dynamics can be. What if the new character doesn't feel like they're being accepted because they're never going to be that person? That's conflict and drama, and that's very cool.
Maybe in the future when there's like a dangerous mission that someone has to go on, the rest of the party is like, well, wait, we need to, we don't want what happened before to happen again. So if you're going out on your own, how are you going to let us know if you're in trouble? Do you have a healing potion with you?
Before we engage this plan, let's make sure we got our bases covered. We value the prep.
Does somebody else have like a resurrection scroll or something, like in case something happens? Like that can be.
This is how parties learn. Look, I wasn't always professional. I wasn't always professional. I used to be just a fuck up like you guys. I'm kidding. I mean, look, this happens to everyone. It can happen to anyone, and it can happen to even the best players. And you get a couple bad rolls, and what are you gonna do, right? Yeah. So there it is.
Yeah.
I think that the only thing you can control now is how you use it for the story for the rest of the. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like we wrote it into the story.
Right.
It wasn't predetermined that this was going to happen so that you could have these types of, like, that's because I talked to your player.
Yeah.
And her thing was, I said, look, when a character dies, it adds tangibility and sort of like a depth of like weight to the world. And so while you might be upset your character's dead, you'll be permanently a fixture of this narrative, and you will help develop every other character that is connected to it. And she responded with, are you saying I'm a fridge girl? And I didn't know what that meant. And apparently it's like a trope where oftentimes in TV show or movies, they'll kill off a female character in order to better develop the male characters.
Yes.
Which is pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
But that's not what happened here.
No,
I want to clarify right. And the reason is because this wasn't preordained. This was a bad circumstance that got out of hand.
Yeah. This wasn't
and was
me
not
saying,
handled perfectly.
This wasn't me saying I want to kill the druid to make the rest of the party grow.
Right. And that's not what happened. That is just
no.
It's a byproduct. It might have the same result in the end, right? Of developing or growing their perception of how dangerous things are.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. This was everyone got to make their own decisions, and it resulted in XYZ.
Yes.
Right. So XYZ wasn't it was not a tarot reading. It wasn't in the cards, so to speak.
Right.
But it, shit happens.
Yeah.
And sometimes bad shit happens.
Adventuring is dangerous.
Adventuring is dangerous. You don't like it, better stay home and bake some bread.
It's true.
Wow. Insightful stuff. Insightful stuff.
It really is.
I know. Who's that guy? God, he's so wise.
Right.
Anyway, so what's the name of the episode, Rachel?
So this week we are starting our first episode of our Between Seasons Candlekeepers game.
Hey.
So this is a new chapter for Candlekeepers. There are some old faces and a mysterious new face in this, in this one.
I wonder who it is.
So this
Partner?
This is Candlekeepers Chapter 10. All right. Are we ready to start?
I am ready.
Okay. About as ready as we're going to be.
I'm ready.
All right. So where we left off last Candlekeepers game,
Thank God.
DeAngelo, Yonk, and Shifu had just returned from an adventure. It was late in the evening. You're all quite tired from your time on the road getting back. Reader Evenmore is there, and she has informed you that there is a little bit of an issue with sort of the main like bunk area where a lot of people have their private rooms and such. Detective Graves is taking care of it. It seems to be falling into his purview. So for the time being, you are going to be staying in the Firefly Cellar, which is in the basement of the House of Rest. So you're still in Candlekeep. The House of Rest is an inn that adventurers typically stay at when they come to Candlekeep. The basement area is partly storage, but there are rooms down there as well.
So you are banishing us to the basement.
I'm not banishing anyone to the basement. It's just temporary quarters while we get some issues sorted out.
Is it dark down there?
No.
As my soul.
It is called the Firefly Cellar because it's lit by fireflies.
Ooh.
That were stolen from children's souls.
So you'll be staying there. Now, Shifu, I'm not sure if you can actually with your shell fit down the hatch, so we may have to find other quarters for you.
I have my own house with me at all times.
That is true.
Where?
He's gonna pull his arms and legs and head inside his shell and just fall over.
Young sort of jumps back. Where did Shifu go? Wait,
I am inside, young one. It echoes out.
The gods blessed him with an armor against this cursed world.
He wears his own house. That's so neat. I wish I could do that.
Practice,
also, there's a tiny little voice on the back of Young's head that 9 intelligence score is like looking at Shifu and then thinking about the size he is, and he's like, Well, if he can't fit down there, I'm a 7-foot tall dragonborn. How am I going to fit down there?
Oh, he's actually Shifu's bigger than you.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I hadn't realized that, but I guess that makes sense. Okay.
He's got his shell, by the way, is like rocky. I don't know if we ever described what he looked like. He's not like a Ninja Turtle. He's like got a big rocky tortoise kind of.
Yeah. So like full of carbuncles and shit, and just all Okay.
Yeah. It's mostly geodes back there, really.
Reader Avonmore will say, also, DeAngelo, don't forget, first thing tomorrow morning is the Readers Advisory meeting where we're going to discuss whether or not those drow-themed bodice rippers should be in your section of the library or not. We also received a donation of Devil's Embrace, which are tiefling-themed dark romance novels, and there is discussion that those should be your purview as well. So that will also be in discussion for tomorrow's collection development meeting.
I'd say oh joy, but I've never known joy.
Tiefling romance novels are so horny.
So get plenty of rest. There's some other people staying in the Firefly Cellar as well, so you're not going to be alone or anything.
We're going to get to make new friends.
Yes.
I should warn you, I make a horrific sound from my deviated septum.
What's a septum? Why is who deviated it for you?
My mother.
What?
I don't know.
My mom used to just rock me to sleep.
My mother was a rock.
All right. So unless you have any other questions, I can show you to the Firefly Cellar entrance, and I'll see you all tomorrow.
Maybe death's sweet embrace will take me during my sleep.
Get some rest, DeAngelo. So she will lead Yonk and DeAngelo to the House of Rest, where on the ground floor there is like this sort of big orange like hatch that opens up, and there's a spiral staircase that goes down. As the two of you follow this staircase down, it opens up to a large circular room. The circular room contains curved darkwood bookcases packed with books of assorted shapes, sizes, and ages. Flowers in ceramic pots line the tops of the shelves, giving the area a sweet fragrance. Alcoves are spaced at regular intervals around the perimeter of the room. 4 of them contain polished bronze statues of bespectacled scholars, and 3 hold overstuffed chairs. In the center of the room, a brass railing surrounds an overlook that gives a view of the lower level of the stacks. Hanging from the ceiling above the opening in the floor is an enormous stone sculpture of an open book that looks as though the cover is flapping to keep it aloft. A spiral staircase to the east leads down. That's where you guys are coming from, is the east entrance. As well as up to the trapdoor exit set in the ceiling. The occasional errant firefly flits around. As the two of you reach this ground floor, this first floor, you can see the spiral staircase goes down to the floor below it. On the floor that you are on now, this circular room is there's sort of like 3 layers of bookshelves, that there's like one layer that lines the edges of the circle, and then like a center, and then like a middle, and then there's this sort of like open area with the railing where you can go over to it and look down and see the floor below. As the two of you are sort of stopped on this this first floor and you're kind of looking around, you hear a voice nearby say, "Ebder, are you back?" And then from the floor below, you hear someone grumble and they go, "I never left." And then the first voice says, "Oh." And then as you look around, you see that there is an elderly elf precariously balanced on a ladder. It seems that they are arranging flower pots on top of one of the bookcases. She looks down and seems surprised at your presence. And then she says, indicating the room around her, "Oh, visitors. I'm Scribe Varnir. Sorry for the state of things. As you see, the restoration project is a work in progress. I'll be with you shortly." She returns to her work, and a moment later she says, "Actually, would you mind bringing that stack of books downstairs to Ebder? I'll meet you there." She points to a small pile of books on a stool. "Thank you so much."
This pile of books?
Yeah, that one right there.
And you want me to take it downstairs?
Yes, to Ebder, please.
Ebder. Okay, I could do that.
Thank you.
How big is the pile of books?
We'll say maybe like 8 to 10 books.
So this is I'm not carrying half a bookshelf's worth of books downstairs.
No.
Part of me is slightly disappointed. No, that's fine. I will Yonk will happily take the small pile of books downstairs to go meet yet another new friend.
Okay. What is DeAngelo doing?
Staying on top of the stairs.
On the first floor?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just sort of taking this all in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of overview peering over everyone in a creepy way.
He's gothic and standing in the shadows like a gargoyle.
You can see that there are no windows here, because you're already underground at the first floor. But there are a lot of sort of like glass jars that are suspended that are full of fireflies, and that's what's casting light throughout this place.
Bet this place charges $27 for a hamburger. People that put fireflies in jars as lighting.
Mm-hmm.
That's hipsters, man.
Oh, I wonder what craft beer they serve.
They make it in-house.
All
That
right.
gold leaf on the French fries, like a bunch of fucking leaf.
So, where would our newest adventurer be at the moment?
Probably questioning somebody. He's looking for somebody, I would imagine.
Okay. Maybe you were on the second floor with Ebder?
Sure.
Okay. I'm gonna list the floors as like the first floor is the closest to like the ground, and then the second floor is below that, and then there's a third floor.
Basement numbers, negative.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so Yonk, you go down the spiral stairs to the next floor. This is another large circular room with sort of 3 layers of bookshelves. Although you can see at the northern end and the southern end, there are doors presumably to other rooms, whereas on the western end, there is a staircase that goes down. The floor that you stop on, the second floor, the musty smell of old books hangs in the air here. Concentric rings of bookcases dominate the space, with a heavy granite table occupying the room's center. The table would be a circle, but for 6 semicircular gaps cut in around its edge, creating spaces for 6 chairs. Small stacks of books rest on the table along with a candle holder that contains firefly-filled jars. As you approach, DeAngelo, if you're standing at the railing on the first floor, you can look down and see this table that as Yonk approaches. And then
Alright.
the stone flying book statue is above your head.
Okay.
Yonk, as you approach, you can see there's an older human man kind of sitting hunched over a book. He looks visibly annoyed. And the man says, "Keep your voices down, please. I just put my daughter to bed."
Keeping them way down. Keeping our voices way, way down.
Yonk, you can also see there is a like a little pulley system with a like fraying wicker basket from the railing at the top that goes down to this center area, sort of like a dumbwaiter.
So I could use that to take the books or put the books down as opposed to just carrying them?
Yes.
Okay.
By the way, a dumbwaiter is the person that puts gold leaf on the French fries.
I'm trying to think if Yonk would do that, or if he would just carry the books down, knowing that
I'll take one off the top of his deck. I'll help you, and I put it in the dumbwaiter and I slide it down.
Oh, okay. All right. I guess with that seeing that example, I'll put the rest of the books on there so they can go downstairs.
Okay.
Remember to be quiet. You don't want to wake the child.
Okay. I know sometimes
they're still innocent and they don't need to be in this pain of the living longer.
Rachel, can I do something?
Yeah.
Okay. You're gonna hear a really loud ruckus from the other room.
Okay.
And my guy's gonna come out grabbing a dude by his collar like a librarian.
Okay.
He's gonna be dragging him across the floor. He's gonna push him up against the bookshelf.
He's
like, now listen here, you little shit kicker. I'm here looking for somebody, and you're gonna point him out when you fucking see him. Do you hear me?
I just started working here.
Yonk,
then everybody should look suspicious to you. Roll him off.
This is life happening to break the innocence.
He just looks like
you got a
very
grim look
mean
about
man.
you, boy. You sick?
No.
Sick of life, sick of living.
My tummy hurts a little.
I'll get to you guys in a minute. Now tell me, where is the stranger with the red hat? You know what I'm talking about.
I don't know. I don't.
I'm gonna like put my face real close to his and like with the cigarette lit, almost burning him.
He's leaning back so far against this bookshelf.
I'm gonna blow the smoke like without moving my mouth, like just right out like in a big puff.
Okay.
Huh. So you don't know nothing.
I don't. I told you I just started working here.
When?
Last year.
You mean to tell me you ain't noticed anything in a year?
They give me a lot of grunt work. I don't do anything important.
You see a guy in a red hat?
No.
You seen around these parts?
Does he work here?
You got a red hat?
No.
Then I suppose he doesn't work here. Keep an eye out. If you see him, you'll know where to find me from my hat. I want you to be very particular to look for these things when people come walking around wearing them.
He looks up at your hat.
See the shape?
Uh-huh.
See the color?
Yeah.
Now someone comes looking for me. What are you going to tell them?
That you're in the Firefly Cellar?
Oh my God, you're killing me. Get out of my face. Okay. Just leave.
Okay. He squeezes past you and runs up the stairs and out.
Any of you dipshits got half a fuck about you?
Ebder, the one who's seated at the table, sighs heavily. He's like, "Can you please keep your voice down? My daughter is sleeping."
Oh, my apologies. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to wake no one's kid up.
Thank you.
You have a pretty cool hat, Mr. DeAngelo.
Any of you dipshits got half a fuck about you.
Do you see Yonk?
If we did, do you think they would have
I'm gonna look at Yonk and be like, "How about you? You gotta have a fuck about you."
He just kind of starts patting himself down. It's like, I don't think I've got one of those on me. No,
Yonk,
certainly not a half of one.
I'm gonna look
It's
at
up your
DeAngelo.
ass.
I'm like, well, he answered my question. How about you?
Depends what kind of half of shit you're looking for.
Looking for a man in a red hat. He'd been around these parts recently.
We
I'd
just
like to
got
get
back.
my eyes on him if I could.
Well, if I see him, I'll make sure you know where his soul is.
What's wrong with your friend? His tongue's kind of licking his lips in a weird way. It's putting me off. What's going on with him?
Yonk suddenly becomes self-conscious about his tongue. He's like sticking it way out, like,
You got a permit for that thing, buddy? Put that away. Sorry about the kid. I'll try to be quiet.
Thank you.
I just like push my tongue back into my mouth.
I just pat Yonk's shoulder. It's okay.
You aren't around here from last couple days. Where you been?
That was the beetle thing, right? In the town? Or was that 2 missions ago?
That was the Mean Locks.
Okay.
So you guys went to the mining town.
We had to visit a mining town and see the mean locks.
Hmm.
A lot of souls died that day. They escaped this reality.
Man, you are an exhausting person to talk to. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you.
You smell of death. It's enjoyable.
Hey, Gecko, what you got going on? You seen the man in a red hat?
Yonk just kind of looks around for a gecko because he doesn't.
Lizard boy, you.
Right, what? Huh?
Good Lord, you're 3 bricks short of a shit shack. What's going on up there? It's like flickered pictures up there. You got like people switching out cards. You're not ready to speak yet? Oh, I'm sorry. I'll try to keep it down. I keep forgetting.
Thank you.
Mr. DeAngelo, I'm scared.
Yonk, it's okay. Answer the man's questions. Have you seen another man with a red hat?
I've seen lots of men. I don't remember seeing any of them in a red hat, though. No. No.
Well,
No red hats. No red hats.
Well, this ain't really paying out for me, is it?
Why?
You should check with Reader Evermore.
I checked with all these people in here. The only reason I came to talk to you is because you guys are new. And apparently he's new. And I'm going to look at the guy that I just pushed up against the.
He's gone. He's run out at this point.
All right.
He's gone.
Well, he was the newest. And now
do
you're
you
the
work
newest.
Do you work for the library?
Sort of. I'm going to light up another cigarette. I'm chain smoking.
Can I convince you to take some books in your section?
I don't have a section. I'm a bounty hunter.
That's perfect. You can take them with you.
So, like when people take books and they don't bring them back?
Mm-hmm.
That might be why they called me. Now I come take a look for him.
Oh, he's the one that collects the overdue fees.
Oh,
that's a way to put it, I suppose.
I wondered how that worked. I thought people just came in and paid a dime.
Well, so the man would drop a dime every once in a while, and then maybe I'd find my man with the red hat.
Did the man in the red hat steal some books?
Stealing books would be maybe the least of his concerns. He stole a contract, you see? Stole some signatures.
Okay.
Guy changes his face like it's the fucking wind, apparently. So I got to ID him by his fucking hat. Sorry, I'll try to keep it down. I get loud. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Abdur looks up and he kind of like looks around for a second, like he hasn't really been paying attention to this conversation. And then he points to the basket with the books that you guys just brought down. He goes, "Did you just bring those from Scribe Marnier?"
Well, go ahead, lizard boy. Tell him.
Oh, Yeah. These are the books.
No.
Oh,
Let's go to Tula. Let's go to Tula or Cthulhu downstairs.
but
wait, there's another floor here?
Yeah, there's a third floor.
Oh, she just said downstairs. She didn't say downstairs twice.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to go down one more. We got to go down one more flight, Mr. DeAngelo. Here, Kimmy.
Does the basket go down further?
No, you have to take them downstairs. He points
I'll help you, Yonk. I'll take one book.
He points to the door on, or the stairs going down on the west side of this circular room. So you take the stairs down, follow the worm tunnel, take a right, and then Cthulhu's room is going to be the second door on the right.
Okay. Take the worm tunnel, take a right, second door on the right.
Yes.
Yeah, you see Yonk, you see the hamsters turning real hard trying to remember those directions.
All right, hang on, partner. Let me grab a couple of those books. Seems like you might be under a weight of a little something heavier than some paper.
Oh, I usually just take the whole shelves in my section. This is easy. But here, and I hand you half the stack. Always happy to make new friends.
Well, I wouldn't go crawl in that ditch quite yet.
From where you guys are at in the center of this second floor, to the east are the stairs up to the first floor. To the north, you can see a closed door. To the south, you can see a closed door. And then all the way to the west are the stairs that go down to the third floor.
Oh, I guess we go for the stairs.
Okay.
We'll see if it goes as deep as the bottomless pit of my soul.
Jesus Christ, man. Try to hang on.
So what is the marching order?
I'll go first.
I'll take the... Okay. I'll go last then.
Okay.
Yes, put the big clumsy dragonborn right in the middle.
Yes. So, you guys go to the western staircase that leads down, and when it finally straightens out on the bottom floor, you are greeted with a very long hallway. It is cold down here. A low barrel vaulted ceiling crowds the already narrow passage. Light from a firefly lamp that hangs on a hook in the wall is inadequate to illuminate the entire space. As you walk down this hallway, there are lamps hanging from hooks every 10 feet on alternating sides of the passage, but only one lamp about 35 feet down this hallway is lit. There is just a single light in this entire 60-70 foot hallway.
I'm pretty sure I'm okay seeing, but does anyone need to see light through the abyss?
Yeah, I could go with some sight.
I reach forward and I tap his hat and cast light upon his hat.
Okay.
I'm going to take it off and hold it out in front of me. Actually, you know what might be a good idea? I'm going to take my pistol out too, since we're in the dark, and I'm going to put it inside the hat.
Oh. Okay.
Kind of use that like a flashlight.
All right.
The gun inside.
Okay.
What? Mr. DeAngelo, what is that?
Walnut cracker, boy, mind your business.
You talking about the spell, or are you talking about the metal object he pulled from his hip?
The second one.
I'm not sure. I've never seen one.
Well, if you've never seen one, then that. Okay.
But he definitely looks like he's seen one up close.
He said he cracks walnuts. I usually just use my fist.
I'm gonna pull it back for a second, and I'm going to pull the barrel out. It's like a revolver. I'm gonna spin, and then put it back in the hat. Just
you are now Yonk's favorite person in the whole wide world. You've got a shiny metal thing that spins.
I believe the young ones call it a fidget spinner.
All right.
I'll spin someone right around. They fidget at me.
All right. So you are in the lead as you make your way down this long, dark hallway. As you get to the end of it, about 70 feet down, there is a door. It's sort of like, this hallway was going north-south. This door is set sort of in a northeastern angle in the wall. And that is the only exit you see from the hallway.
All right.
The second door on the right?
This is the only door that you found.
Okay.
Do you
I'm
open
gonna
it?
take my boot and I'm gonna knock on it.
No answer.
All right, leave us no choice. I'm gonna spin the pistol around in my hand, and I'm gonna try to open the door. See if the handle jiggles.
It opens.
Okay, I'm gonna flip it back around in my hand and put it back under the hat.
Okay.
And
It
push it
also
open with
opens
my elbow.
doors.
All right. A dirty skillet stands out among an otherwise immaculate kitchen, and the smell of bacon in the air hints at the skillet's former contents. A door in the southeast corner hangs open a crack.
I'm gonna put my hand over the pan. Is it hot?
It is not hot. There's like a very vague, almost gone warmth.
I'm gonna take my finger. I'm gonna wipe it across the pan.
Okay. Yep.
How thick is the bacon fat?
I don't know. I don't cook bacon.
Just give me a timeline. Like within 15-20 minutes, it would start to congeal and be solid.
Sorry, about 20 minutes then.
Okay.
That's the sequel to How Green Was My Valley is How Thick Was My Bacon.
After I take my finger off, I'm gonna be like suck it clean. And wipe it on the side of my pants.
Okay.
All right, looks this way, partner. Come on.
So you go to this door in the southeast corner that is slightly open already.
Yep. I'm gonna push it open with the foot.
Okay. You see a hallway, not as long as the other hallway that you just came from. But this hallway, there are 7 doors, 3 to the left, 3 to the right, and then 1 at the end of the hall.
Hey, Gecko. That's you.
Oh, yeah. What?
Which one are you thinking?
He closes his eyes and puts his clawed finger out. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
I'm gonna look right at DeAngelo and be like, really?
DeAngelo just nods.
He just kind of continues to count and kind of murmur in his head, and he gets to the 3rd door and points at it. That
on
one.
Which side?
The 3rd one on the left.
3rd one on the left. Okay.
So you have to.
Is it still?
You'd be authentic.
Is it still dark down here in this area?
That light was
Not
coming out from under the door.
not as dark
Okay.
as the worm tunnel that you guys just came from.
Okay.
How is it illuminated?
More fireflies in jars.
Oh, okay.
So you're going to the 3rd door on the left.
Yes.
Okay.
Via Yonk's superior door selecting skills.
Okay. This door is currently closed.
Okay.
All right. I guess I'll go over and knock on it.
Okay. There's no answer.
Hey, spooky guy. You go ahead and knock on some of them doors for me. See if we get any response.
I'll go knock on the second one.
Second on the left or the right?
Let's go right.
Okay. You knock on the 2nd door on the right. And then after a moment, you hear a female voice that goes, "Yes, come in."
Better luck next time, Gecko.
I slowly turn the handle and creak and open it and peek in slowly.
Okay. This room is furnished with a bed, a wash basin, and a writing desk. The desk has a tiny clockwork oyster resting on it. Also sitting on the at the desk is a female tabaxi. She has a few stacks of books on her desk and some papers out. It looks like she was making notes. And she goes, "Oh, are those the titles I requested?"
Verify your identification.
Cthulhu.
These are yours.
Thank you.
I hand her the one. And then exit quickly.
I requested more than one.
You're getting them in.
Sticks her head out the hall.
You're getting them in segments, lady.
Okay.
Buy one book and get the remaining 7 one a month for just $9.99.
4 easy payments of $9.99 and one incredibly difficult payment of $12.37.
And if you order now, we'll include 10 butthole scrunchies.
Yay!
No.
Those will also be incredibly difficult payments.
Yes.
Over the course of the next 13 years, you will pay a nickel a week.
I'll kind of move past DeAngelo as he kind of makes his little quick exit to bring the 6 books I gave one to him, so that left me with 7. So I gave half, so I've got 4.
Okay.
So I'll hand 4 books over.
Thank you.
Good to know that he rounds up when he gets to half of 7. So
yes.
That'll be something to profile.
I'm a glasses half full kind of Dragonborn. What can I say?
Thank you.
I'm curious as to whether Yonk has ever seen a tabaxi before. That's I'm sure there are multiple working at the library, so probably not an unusual sight for him. But he'll hand the books over, then he just kind of stands there and grins.
Thanks. Are you also conducting research?
Yeah,
we've been banished.
How long he keep his tongue in his mouth.
I got up to 30. I got up to 37 seconds earlier.
It's a new record.
Wow.
I work the children's section. You should come visit me sometimes. I have lots of really neat books.
I'm actually conducting research on regional forms of folk magic, and you often see stories or connections like that in children's tales. So that actually could pertain to my research.
You said a lot of words that sounded interesting, but yes, please come visit my section.
Well, we should let you get back to it then. You hadn't seen a man in a red hat, have you?
No, but I've mostly just been down here, working on research.
Right. What are all these other doors to? There's other research stations, or?
No, I think she'll start pointing at the different doors. She's like, I think that one's empty. That one's empty. Ebner stays in that one. She points at the first door that you guys knocked on. And then the one to the left of it, that's where his daughter is. Scribe Varnier stays in that one, and then at the end of the hall is Crinkle's room. Crinkle.
What's a crinkle?
The kinku.
Oh, I knew that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the bird guy.
Yes.
I saw him earlier, I think. Hard to miss.
Yeah, they I think they take care of the fireflies.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is so interesting.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go on back out in the hall. You guys go ahead and finish up if you want.
She points at the books that are still in your hand. She says, "Are those mine as well?"
Oh yeah, sure. Here.
Thank you. She kind of looks through them, and then coming from around the corner, you guys hear sort of some slow steps as Scribe Varner approaches. She's the elf that you saw when you first came in. She uses a cane to walk as she comes down the hallway. Behind her is a kenku in this sort of frayed purple robe, and then you can see like when the sleeves of the robe fall back, they've got like bandages along there that like wrap up their forearms, and they're carrying a tray of food. Oh, good, you found Cthulhu.
Yeah, she got her books.
Good, thank you. So I have been working on the restoration project pretty much all day. From what Reader Avonmore told me is that you'll all be staying here. That room I think has 2 free beds, and then that room has more than that, so you're free to choose where you'd like to stay. Crinkle was kind enough to put some food together for all of you to have dinner, and then we can all get some rest.
How late is it? Been down here underground for a little while now.
It's getting on in the evening at this point.
Well, I guess I'll continue my search tomorrow then.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I appreciate the kindness.
Of course.
Well, Yonk is already slipping a sandwich away without trying to let anybody notice.
You're free to browse any of the books down here. And again, I apologize for the mess. This the whole space has been sort of left for centuries without anyone really looking after it. So,
do you have a children's section down here too?
No, not down here.
I was hoping for Goodnight Moon tonight.
Well, you could probably ask Galeby tomorrow for her recommendations.
Okay. I'll just stare at the wall.
How hard is it to get certain books transferred down here?
Well, they would have to fit the genre that we keep down here.
And what genre is that?
So we have
a series of murder how-tos and
Dummy's Guide to Conjuration.
Sorry, I'm trying to find I know that it listed the types of books kept down here. I'm just trying to find them.
Just for some reason, the entire Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys series is down here as well.
So this collection here is mainly old manuscripts that focus primarily on travelogues and regional customs. Like I said, a lot of it's been neglected. I also have been doing a lot of repairs on books down here. And Ebner also helps me with repairs. He transcribes a lot of books that are maybe too damaged to stay in circulation, so we make a new copy of them.
I think I've come across from Reader Evan or some additions to my area that are regional drow and tiefling books.
Like Travels to the Underdark?
That is one way to describe the book.
Well, we'd have to look at the collection to determine if it would fit the collection here. But I could certainly take a look at that tomorrow morning.
Sounds good.
Excellent. All right. Well, I'm going to get some rest. Feel free to enjoy your dinner, browse if you'd like. There's more food in the kitchen pantry if you find yourself still hungry. And have a good night. I'm going to get some rest, not sleep, because I am an elf, so I don't actually have a good night. And you'll see that she goes to the room. It is the first door on the right when you first enter this hallway. So it's the room to the left of Cthulhu's room.
Then I am going all the way to the end on the left, away from these 2 rooms on the right.
Okay. So the 2 rooms that she pointed out that are available for you guys to sleep in is either the room, which is the first door on the left, so it's directly across from her room, or the last room on the right, which is between Cthulhu's room and Crinkle's room on the end.
Which one had the 1 bed and which one had the 2?
There's one room that has 2 beds. That's the one across from Scribe Varnir's room. And then the one between Cthulhu's room and Crinkle's room she said has more than 2 beds.
Oh.
But you can take a look at them and determine which one you want.
Well, you two seem cozy, so why don't you guys take the 2?
Yonk's going to find the biggest bed there is of the lot and claim that for his own.
Okay. So the room that's across from Scribe Varner's, this room has 2 beds positioned on opposite walls, which flank a wash basin in an otherwise bare room. Both beds are made, but the blanket on one of them is a bit rumpled. The other room is a bit bigger, and that one has a beautiful painting of Candlekeep on the south wall that looms over the 5 beds that crowd this room. A narrow shelf tucked into the northeastern corner holds jars of fruit preserves and pickled vegetables.
That's where Yonk's sleeping.
Okay.
You're going to put a bunch of those beds together. Yeah.
And I'm going to have a pretty picture to look at as I fall asleep.
Okay.
All right, then I'll go to the one with the basin.
Okay.
And I'll close the door behind me. Night,
Prepare
fellas.
yourself, Yonk, for
Nice
the
meeting you.
deviated septum. You too.
He's not really into sleepovers, is he, Mr. DeAngelo?
I don't think he's into anything but a guy with a red hat.
I wonder what the guy with the red hat. He said he took signatures. Like, what would you do with signatures?
You know, there are some books that talk about contracts with those fiends of the world below, but you would have to have a soul to sign one of those, and we all know mine was burned.
I just kind of pat DeAngelo on his head. It's okay.
But you have a soul. Be wary of it. Don't let it be broken.
Oh, okay.
And don't sign any contracts with devils.
That sounds like good advice. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I just start pushing 3 beds together against one wall.
Okay.
And I sleep across the vertical crossways.
All right. Anything? Go ahead.
No, you're fine. Go for it.
I was just going to say anything anyone else does before you get your rest done.
I'm going to try one of those jars of fruit, and then I'm going to fall asleep.
At random.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
I'm going to clean my weapon.
Okay.
Rachel, did you put a potion of mind reading on my sheet?
That's something that you found in one of the previous adventures.
Okay. I was like, I don't remember that.
All right. Well, then the 3 of you get a restful night's sleep, and you wake up and you are level 5. So go ahead and get your long rest and level up your characters.
Long rest. Take a long rest. Confirm.
Man, I've been in this group for no time. I'm already level 1.
Was all that threatening librarians looking for a man in a red hat?
You'll get XP for that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't. Mine's pretty easy. I just get an extra attack and I get fast movement. So very, very little for me to have to manage.
Nice.
Which is great because Yonk probably couldn't manage much more than that. It's extra 10 HP though. I'll take that all day long.
Yeah.
Right. Now it doesn't hurt as much that I have 0 in my strength, wisdom, and con.
Yeah, I rolled my my stuff on the what's it called? The roller.
Mm-hmm.
And it was not great. I had to do a lot of manipulation to get them to normal. So like I was like putting in places where I knew I was gonna get a +1 and then taking the fucking score that was lowest to put it into intelligence that gets a natural +2. I was just like, oh my god, this is, but I got an 18. I was able to manage an 18.
Nice. Yeah, no, I mean I maxed out my charisma, but yeah, everything else hurts.
Yeah. I am fairly I only had 1 point of grit for like the entirety of the time I was building them, and I was like, where the fuck is the grit come from? Because it wasn't in the description.
Mm-hmm.
And then I found out it was tied to wisdom, so I was like, oh shit. And then I had to go back and like move stats around. I could be a little dumber. I need a 2nd point of grit.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think DeAngelo's as squishy as original Kavir.
Oh no.
Yeah, I have
Is
a
that
lot more hit
with
points
or without?
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say, is that with or without the hit points he forgot to add?
Forgot to add a weird way to describe what had happened. What had happened is everyone else knew and I didn't, and nobody corrected me. Everyone's just like, "Man, why do you get hit so hard?" I'm like,
David told all of us.
I didn't hear it.
Well,
the other side is like I didn't like scan any of your character sheets because I trusted all of you.
He just mentioned it whenever I went away to get water or something like that. He's like, now remember, everybody has full HP and don't ever repeat this.
Every time you step away, he went into D&D Beyond and just shaved a few hit points off Kabir's sheet.
I wouldn't. We didn't have it in Beyond, but I'm just saying.
Oh, that's.
I was like, how the fuck are you guys still like up? This is crazy. And people were like telling me they had like triple digits now. And I'm like, it's bullshit. I'm at like 47.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, that's very impressive that you survived.
Dude, like,
fuck you guys. As a matter of fact, I had that many hit points when I was being bit in the face and drowned, and I imagine
I was about to say
would have been fucking helpful. In that
I told my D&D group that meets here that the next campaign I run, I want them to either roll their hit points or take the average because they've sort of been playing on like Superman rules, and there's 6 of them in the party, so especially at higher levels, nothing really feels like a challenge for them.
Right.
And you should have seen like the panic in some of their eyes that they were like
still playing 5th. Still easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, why don't you roll some fucking hit points on a fucking wizard in second?
Make a D4.
You 1d4 and you can only have a 1 con bonus. No matter what your con score is, you can only add 1. I had a friend who played a fucking character with tuberculosis. He had negative constitution, and every time he rolled, there was a chance that he would roll lower than his negative to his con, and he would lose hit points.
Oh my
god.
Perfect. I've never, that is the ballin' shit I've ever seen anyone do.
Rock Holiday is a wizard. Wow.
Characters always have, like, when we would play, we'd always do something to try to like flex on each other, like, oh yeah, check this cool shit I did out. And most people like min-max to do that, but we would take a flaw or like a really hard rule to play with. And like one time it was like, you can only cast a spell that you've selected for the day. You can't take it twice. You can only use individual spells. So you have to use, and you can't use a spell again until you've used all of the ones you know. So it was crazy shit. But that was the gnarliest one. I saw him roll his hit points in front of me when I was DMing the game, and he rolled like a 1 and then got a -2, so he lost the hit point. I was like, my guy is the fucking king. And he rolled with it the whole time. I was like, my dude is the king.
That is funny.
It's the most impressive thing I've ever seen anyone do in D&D is play that character.
All right. That's
where the phrase "down with the Burke" came from. When I always say "down with the Burke," that's where it came from.
Oh Lord.
Right. Has everybody leveled up?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Hey Rachel, do you have any glass cannons in your home game?
She barely has any cannons in her game. She barely has any guns.
I do
He has any glass.
Wizard. He's playing the it didn't go into like the official rules. It's like the UA like wizard, one of the wizard school ones before they changed it. But then he also, like, literally anytime the party finds a magic item, he will desperately try to convince everyone that he should take it. So like, as the wizard, he has like the it's some kind of amulet of health, so he has like a 19 con from it.
Whoa.
Like, he didn't give it to the paladin or the fighter or anyone else. The wizard was like, I should have it because I have the lowest con.
It's more potent on him.
Right, that was his argument.
Makes sense.
And but he's also died more often than anybody else at the table. One time he like stood at the top of some stairs while the party was at the bottom floor fighting like this undead guy, and he was like taunting him. because like he had the whole party between him and the undead guy, and he was like throwing spells from the top of the stairs, and the undead guy misty stepped behind him and then like ran his sword through his back. He was level 1, so he like died, and then the guy kicked him down the stairs to make him like fail a death save.
Oh, no! Did we see that with Samuel Jackson in Invincible?
You can
I haven't seen that.
You have to lift the weapon first.
Uh,
Lift it. That's another, because when you pull the weapon out, you lift, and that's another death save, and then kick the stairs.
I DM'd a game for the old group where they were being cute, and one of them was playing a human, when the other was playing a halfling, and the halfling was like, "Well, I'm going to ride you down the stairs," because they were at a tavern at the second story.
Mhm.
I'm like, "All right, go ahead and roll for that. Let me make sure you can get down the stairs with this halfling on your back after jumping." He fucking failed it. He crit failed.
Oh no!
Nice.
I had them both fall down the stairs.
Oh.
And the halfling almost died as a result from the falling damage. And then they were pissed at me for like half the damn rest of the session because I made them roll to carry one down the stairs. And I went, well, he didn't just say you didn't pick him up. He jumped on your back as you were about to walk down the stairs. Yeah, I kind of think I was justified in making you make that saving throw. And
all right. So after your first night in the Firefly Cellar, you gather around the table at the center of the collection's main floor. So you're on the second floor. So it's the three of you along with Ebner and Cthulhu. It's quiet until you notice that your companions are humming a melody under their breath, the same tune that's been stuck in your head since you woke up. After a moment, you realize that you too are humming along.
What is that sound? Y'all humming the same song as me?
I believe so.
I like.
Is it a happy tune?
I never heard this song before. It just kind of hit me.
It doesn't quite feel like a happy tune.
Oh, that's the music of my soul.
Ebner,
if a character were to hum it, what would it sound like, Rachel? Go ahead, hum us a little bit of that jingle.
I don't think it would pick up on the mic, so I don't want to waste our time.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't want to.
DM. In order for us to accurately
we need
gauge,
total immersion.
What the song sounds like.
Yeah.
Let's see.
It just says.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Rachel, we're role playing for a podcast. Why don't you go ahead and really put some
the opening.
That sounded too happy.
It's the opening bars to Black Parade.
Okay. Actually, you know what was stuck in my head for like a long time? The theme song to Who's the Boss. I hate that show. I never even watched it. Really. Go ahead, Nate. Hum it one time, and you guys will have it in there for a week.
Oh God, I'm trying to remember the who. Oh God, I should know these. These are '80s theme songs. These should be stuck in my head. Why?
Actually, you know what the thing is now? Now it's not. Now I got.
Oh,
as long as we got each other.
Oh Jesus,
we've got the world. But now I'm trying to think of the theme song and I can't get there. But now all I have is that one. I think I've been cursed by a demon of daytime.
Oh, it's brand new life. That's right. It's and the reason why I always sticks in my head is because somebody does like a swing rendition of that fucking theme song. God damn it. It sounds like it almost could be like a fucking Frank Sinatra song if it were put to swing music as opposed to like 80s synth shit.
So now that we've distracted, Rachel, why don't you go ahead and hum us a little bit of that jazzy tune?
Well, at this point, Ebner looks up from the book that he's been reading and he goes, "Can you please be quiet? Thank you. He goes back to reading.
Weren't you humming too?
I don't know what you're talking about. You'll notice that if
where's the kid at?
She's not at the table. You guys do notice that if you do consciously try to make an effort to stop humming, it is essentially the same as maintaining concentration. So if you are consciously not humming the song, you are maintaining concentration. You can't do anything else, like a spell that uses concentration or rage, for example, because those require concentration.
Oh, noes. That's the only thing I can do.
So right now I'm currently contracting out of Waterdeep.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Uh-huh.
So I'm contracted right now with the town guard, with the city watch. So I'm going to take a piece of paper and my badge from my organization. I'm going to slap him down on the table real quick, and I want to see if anyone reacts weird to it. Anyone kind of...
Cthulhu kind of jumps when you slap your hand down, but then she just kind of looks curiously at what you've set down.
I'm going to look around the room. Anybody?
What's the what was the badge?
It's the badge of the bounty hunters organization I work for. It's sort of, I would assume it's well known. I don't know much about the law enforcement brigades in this region.
No worries.
So just assume that it's a sort of known, like a marshal service.
Is it shiny?
Well, let me do a history.
Candlekeep
if it's shiny, Yonk's all over it.
Can I do a history check?
Yeah, give me a history check.
I think Mr. Graves has something like that. That's pretty cool. Ooh, can I see it?
So 15. Would I recognize it?
That was insight. You would recognize it. Well, for history, he's heard of. Oh, I didn't.
I clicked the wrong one. My bad.
Oh, okay.
I was like, "What's he? You got an insight?" No, it really is a
badge.
Sorry.
25.
Oh, yeah, you've definitely heard of it.
It's not a real badge. It's a chocolate covered in gold foil.
You ever realize sometimes that vampires eat the werewolves? Look at my badge. Oh my God, I'm so glad he didn't win. Jesus fucking Christ, I'm so glad he didn't win.
Yeah.
Intriguing.
Now, someone's going to have to tell me about this humming, and I don't give a damn if your kid wakes up or not. She can answer the question next.
Ember frowns and he goes, I don't know. You probably just heard a song. I'm trying.
You're all humming it. Same song. Isn't that strange?
Abner, how long has it been since you come out of the Firefly Cellar?
A few days, I think. Why?
Look over at Cthulhu. How long has it been since you left the abyss that we're in?
She kind of laughed. She goes, well, I've been at Candlekeep for the last 6 days, but
particularly
I try to, go out and take a walk in the sun every day. I don't like being cooped up down here, but the books I need for my research are down here.
We started all singing it this morning after being here all night.
Ebder starts humming the song.
I'm going to try to walk up the stairs and out to see if the goes away.
As you stand up, you hear from the floor above this sort of loud sound of like a metal door closing, followed by the sound of several mechanical locks engaging. And then Scribe Varnir, the elf, comes down the stairs. She's sort of walking slowly with her cane. She is also humming the song as she descends the stairs to come to your floor.
I'm gonna take my pistol out, and I'm gonna put my back to the wall.
Did you just lock us in the abyss?
I did. Thanks for listening to Freelance Heroism Plays Candlekeepers. I forgot to record an outro for this with Dees, so Edit Rachel remembered that as she was editing. So I'm doing this outro solo today. Our cast includes Dees Cassius as our mysterious beheaded stranger, Nathan Lett as Yonk, the children's librarian, David Walker as DeAngelo Montero, our gothic fiction librarian, and me, Rachel Moore. I'm everybody else in the world because I'm DMing this. If you would like to support us or see some very cool goodies like outtakes and bloopers and journal entries, we do have a Patreon that is listed in the show notes, along with our Twitch channel where Nate and Dees stream games 3 days a week. Also very fun. We've also got Dees' comic there in the show notes, and just some other information about, if you want to support us or check out more stuff that we're doing. So that's going to be it for this week's episode. There will be another Candlekeepers next week. And there's no invoice in this one, so just remember to return your library books on time. So
I maybe because of a slight distraction, did Dees' character introduce himself? Because I don't remember him saying his name.
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. I was like, Young probably didn't pick up on that, but I'm like, wait a minute. We don't know who the fuck this guy is yet. Okay.
In Young's mind, it's like, he's the Hat Man.
He's the Hat Man. Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, so okay, you can edit that out. But I was like, I don't think I missed that. I was pretty.
Edit this part out too. I'll introduce myself eventually, but right now it's more important, I think, to get used to the character, and then you can intro the name.
Yeah. No, that's fine. It's just at some point, Yonk is going to want to refer to you as something, and he's going to struggle. I'm sure.
Well, yeah. I'm sure he'll think of something.
Yeah,
he's the collector.